Good afternoon. Welcome back to video 22, and this one is on boundaries. I think I've seen more people living in hurt, in pain, because they've been treated poorly, been treated badly, and they don't know how to stop it. They don't know how to advocate for themselves. They don't know how to set boundaries. They don't know how to get the respect that they deserve. And we are worth it. So, this is Boundaries 101, and I sincerely hope that you will be able to take the information and use it to transform your life. I can't tell you how freeing it is, especially for us people pleasers whose worst nightmare is people not liking us. So we think, oh, if I set boundaries, people are going to like me, they're going to hate me, and I'm going to have nobody, I'm going to be all alone. Let me tell you something. The first couple times, setting a boundary, and I'll have suggestions about that. The first couple times are the hardest, and you're going to find that you get more respect. People like you better. I know, doesn't sound like it makes sense. But like those memes that I posted, it doesn't have to be a spiky electric fence. It's just a reminder that you will be treated sacredly. So, let's dive in. Boundaries are personal, emotional, physical, and mental limits a person sets for themselves to maintain their well-being and define acceptable interactions with others. Okay? What does that mean? Well, it means that you set these boundaries for your own comfort. What you will and will not accept, what you can and can't accept. For example, let's take physical boundaries. Someone who has been essayed will have very different, will probably have very different physical boundaries than someone who has not. And there are all different situations and reasons for the amount of physical space someone needs. But if your fight or flight or freeze or fawn gets activated when someone touches you, setting a boundary will bring you so much peace. Please do not touch me without my permission. I don't enjoy being touched. Please don't touch me. Um, if someone gets a little too close, you can say, that's close enough. I like my personal space. Thank you. You know, maintaining your well being. Okay. Boundaries act as a framework for healthy connections, establishing how you wish to be treated and protecting your space, time, and emotional energy. How do you know when you need one? Well, when someone says or does something and inside you're not feeling okay, then you need a boundary. Again, boundaries will vary from person to person. For example, some people have a thicker skin than others. Um, what someone says to a friend of mine could roll right off their shoulders and they might not even um, register it as disrespectful. They may just see it as a joke or whatever. And I may feel disrespected. Okay. So we're going to have different boundaries. No two people have the same life experience. Therefore, your boundaries are going to be different. So, boundaries are about self care, not about controlling other people. And then you say, well, wait a minute. If I'm saying don't touch me, that's controlling others, right? Nope. Nope. That's saying this is my boundary. I don't want you to touch me. Okay. They have every freedom in the world to touch you or not touch you, to accept that boundary or to break it. Okay. Now, if they accept your boundary, that's a safe place. If they break your boundary, then you need a consequence. And the best consequence for a situation like that is to do what they call vote with your feet, meaning leave. Just leave. They help prevent resentments and burnout, and they build mutual respect and security. The fact that you need to set boundaries with someone does not mean that they're not a safe place for you, does not mean that they're not your person, because nobody is perfect. If you set boundaries and they respect them, then they are a safe place. You have the right to feel safe. So, what does a boundary look like? It usually, the simplest way I put it is it consists of an I message. Okay. So you say, when you touch me without permission, I feel, or it makes me feel unsafe. Okay. And then what you want to change. So please don't do that. Don't touch me anymore without my permission. And then the consequence for breaking the boundary. If you do it again, I'm going to leave. When I talk to clients about boundaries, they say, I set boundaries and they don't work. Well, you have to set clear boundaries. You have to identify and state, you know, what the boundary is. Don't touch me without permission. Of course, we're going to frame it as an I message, but okay. How it makes you feel, it makes me feel unsafe. And then what they don't get is that once you've clearly stated your boundary and how it makes you feel, you have to set a consequence for breaking that boundary. And once you've set that consequence, you have to enforce it every single time, or your boundary is worthless. People know they can stomp on it, and you're not going to do anything but say, oh my God, my boundary didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I want to tell you a personal story that I think illustrates setting a boundary, setting a consequence, and enforcing it, and how difficult it is. I'm not saying this is easy, but the value to you feeling respected and safe is priceless. Okay, personal story in part 2. I love you.